All right, Miles, the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, find themselves in the news. Look, this offseason, the Chargers have made a couple really key moves early on. We've seen it propagate through the rest of the offseason, and we're starting to see what the Chargers are doing surrounding Justin Herbert, giving him the environment to be successful. And we've got a report out of LA that I think Chargers fans will be extremely excited about.
Yeah, Nick, this report that you dug up is great. I think there's a lot of great evidence here showing that Herbert is a special player. We've talked about this for a long time, but we have more statistics to back it up, and I think the Chargers fans are going to love it. But Chargers fans, not everyone has come into the league and been as good out the gate as a guy like Justin Herbert. He's impressed everyone pretty much from the very beginning. I want to know in the comments below who's someone who maybe had a slower start but then had a big breakout year for the Chargers. Let us know in the comments below someone who came into the league, had a slow start, and then burst onto the scene. Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, let's get into it. Let's talk about Justin Herbert.
Yeah, because the whole thing with the Chargers is right. We know Justin Herbert is great. We know he's fantastic. He's the franchise quarterback. He's right up there with the Mahomeses, the Burrows, the Allens, the Jacksons, and the AFC, frankly, in all of football. He's that kind of player. But they had to do more to put him in environments to be successful. And obviously, that's why they brought in Kellen Moore, formerly the Dallas Cowboys, to be the new OC, replacing Lombardi. And Kellen Moore had a very interesting comments to say on NFL.com. Miles, if you want to throw up the report real quick, I will read from it. Talking to Kellen Moore said this was on Peter Schrager's podcast. Justin's such a smart decision maker. It allows you to really call it in an aggressive manner. He does such a great job. We always say aggressively take what they give us. Like if they give us these shots, they give us something vertical. We got these skill players that we feel really, really good about. Just take them. Just go for it. And if not, take the completion, take the check down. I think the mentality of that has been the way we've been kind of training this entire offseason. And certainly I think we've got the guys to be able to execute those things. All right, Miles, this is offensive coordinators speak for we're going to be extremely aggressive because normally offensive coordinators, what they say is just take what they give you. So take the check down, take the completion. The fact that Kellen Moore is opening with this, we're going to be aggressive. If they give us the verticals, take it. And obviously with Justin Herbert, there's always a vertical opportunity with his arm talent. This to me is a sign that the Chargers are going to be really aggressive. I'm really excited about this development. And I'm curious what your thoughts are, Miles. But before I throw it to you, I want to remind everyone to stay tuned to the end of the video to hear a word from our partner. And that, of course, is Neuro. Neuro has a lot of great products that give you a fast and quick boost of energy. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video to learn more about Neuro and, most importantly, to get access to our special discount code. All right, Miles, I'll throw it over to you now. What are your thoughts on these comments involving the Chargers and Justin Herbert?
Yeah, Nick, it just makes sense, and especially now, because last season, maybe not so much, but with the added addition of a playmaker like Quentin Johnson, who we talked about in the video a week or so ago. If you want to listen to that, go give it a listen. But they now have all of the playmakers. They have all of the ability to be aggressive. Like we said, the best ability is availability. And some of these guys were not available last season, and it really limited the play calling. But now the addition of a third dynamic playmaker in Johnston, they open up this offense to a lot more options in the play calling game. You don't have to worry about who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. So this is the natural progression to me, in my mind, that, all right, now we have all the tools. Let's really open up the cabinets. Let's get all of the plays out for Herbert. Let's be aggressive. Let's get what we can get because every guy on this field now in the wide receiver position is a playmaker. Even going to the fourth receiver, Josh Palmer, we said he was admirable. He's no Quentin Johnson as far as playmaking ability, but he's a solid guy. So now you've got 4 receiving threats. You've got a good receiving running back, great receiving running back in Eckler, and got solid tight ends. So this is a team that can really go and be aggressive and take some shots. And we have some statistics showing exactly, how aggressive they can be and how good they are. And specifically talking about Herbert on throws, 20-plus yards on the field, Nick. That Herbert has the 29th lowest percentage of attempts that were deep balls. So this shows he's got the arm strength, but he just wasn't taking the shots last year. Then we go on, Herbert had the 26th lowest average depth of target on deep threats. Once again, underutilizing that arm talent. And finally, he had the 4th lowest turnover-worthy play percentage. So once again, great accuracy, great precision, but they're not capitalizing on the deep throws. But what do you think about these stats, Nick? What does this mean for Herbert?
Well, to me, it shows how much blame really fell on Lombardi's hands, right? Because when you look at these numbers, they're absolutely ridiculous. This is bottom of the barrel numbers for a guy with that level of arm talent. And look, we know Williams was hurt. We know Allen was hurt. We know they had some injuries on the offensive line. I honestly would have expected a guy with Herbert's ability, instead of being, 1, 2, or 3 in terms of how often you go deep and how deep you go when you attempt deep passes. Maybe they slide down to 10, 11, 12, maybe middle of the pack, but to fall all the way to 29 and 26, that's 100% on the offensive coordinator. You have to be aggressive when you have a guy like Herbert's talents. The only excuse would be is if he turns the ball over a lot or makes a lot of mistakes. But the third stat there says, look, he has the fourth lowest turnover-worthy play percentage among all deep throws, when you factor in deep throws among all quarterbacks. That is absolutely outstanding. So not only does he have all the arm talent in the world, Mice, he's smart and accurate when he goes deep. It's like the perfect package, but they did not utilize him last season. And of course, there are the injuries, and we talked about it. And you alluded to the fact, and when we talk about Quentin Johnston, that he gives them an extra layer of depth. Of course, I think when everyone's healthy, it creates just a dynamic trio of big playmakers between him, Keenan Allen, and of course Mike Williams. But you look at this offense under Lombardi, it is the biggest travesty I've seen probably in the last 3-5 years in the NFL in terms of offensive coordinator underutilizing the talents of his quarterback. Kellen Moore comes from Dallas with Dak Prescott, who has nowhere even remotely close to the level of physical tools that Herbert has. I'm sure Kellen Moore is salivating right now because he's seen this guy in practice. He's seen him on film. He's like, oh my gosh, we're going to put up 5,000 yards passing next season. We're going to throw the ball all over the field. No one's going to be able to stop us because Lombardi really screwed the pooch here, Mize. All right, Mize, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Mize. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.